Definitely
Sorry.
not.
No, and I'm not going to dab on screen, on camera. Sorry.
It's because he dabs too much every other time.
Oh, okay.
He's literally sitting at his desk, and I'm like looking over, and he's listening to like some punk rock or heavy metal. He's just like, "Yeah, what's up? I'm Dan Mitre."
You did it on camera.
Whoa, dudes and dudettes, it's Dan Mitre, totally the community manager for DICE, here to talk to you about our latest update to Battlefield 1, called the Turning Tides North Sea Update, because January update is way too short for how much is packed into this patch. Thankfully, we stuck to our promise of splitting our DLC originally planned for just December, but now also into January, because there's 5 Tuesdays in January to help us get it done. Major bummer that there's only 28 days in February for our next patch. Anyways, this patch coincides with 2 new maps which we showed off in a live stream yesterday, even though these maps have been available to play for premium members on the CTE for a while now, but it's always fun to show off grainy images edited with a phone from a console, since they're more underpowered than a base model of a Kia car, and talk with our game designers, including Freak Show Kevin James.
Which is a great segue.
Yes.
Not the little cool thing that the mall cops ride, but a form of speech where you go from one topic to the next. The more you know. But we've got a great...
All right, Kevin James.
One map is Heligoland Bite, which will make vehicle whores salivate as you have sweet Dreadnought on Dreadnought action with more boats and hoes than a bad Will Ferrell movie. The other map is actually for infantry players that don't need to rely on overpowered items, but more on the nerfs to the Automatico later. Zabruggy is basically a less meat grindery naval skin Fort de Vaux. You also get access to the new uniforms of the British Royal Marines for those that like to play dress up in an FPS game. Fresh threads, homies. Oh, and for those people that rather run around deciphering Morse code than actually playing the game, we got you covered too, fam-a-lambs.
Can I ask?
Yeah.
Is there an Easter egg involved with that one?
Sort of.
Oh! Oh!
I mean, it's not really...
I'm working for you guys. Look what I just got out of this one.
The new features are just for those goobers that actually ponied up the extra money for premium to get shit early, but we here at DICE aren't leaving all of you out in the cold, as there are base game updates as well, totally tubular. The biggest of which is a gun balance update to increase the time to kill across the board that we tested out on the CTE way back in December. Oh my goodness, I don't even remember what I had for breakfast this morning. That was 5 months ago when it could have actually mattered, but we only got around to it now after the game's been out for 1.25 years already. Oopsie. Since we want more people to actually buy our game, we're making all guns kill quicker to lower the skill gap for those shoobies that are just getting the game to make it more casual. SMGs take 1 bullet less to kill at close range for all of them except for the Automatico for those that like to aggro and PTFO. However, now the Hellregal is even more unbalanced compared to the rest, even though the other SMGs are now better than they were before. The other assault weapons, shotguns, are now more consistent than your bowel movement schedule because the spread is now not randomly dispersed in an entire cone, but a subsection of the cone, so now you won't get duds or cross mappers. The medic class now won't suck as much as it used to, as the rifles are going to have more accuracy, less random bullet deviation when firing up multiple times in a row, and have increased damage range so that this way they're better at medium and long fights. The LMGs will have a slower ADS time, so camping is the way to go, yo. But it will take 1 less bullet to kill for all of those heavy-ass guns, except the really shitty ones like the Lewis gun, the Perino, and the Huot, now taking 2 less bullets to kill. Thankfully, you'll actually have a reason to get to support level 10 now. As far as the scouts, there's no long-range sniper changes because those guys are already like the douche canoes that kill the pit at a show, but iron sight snipers and the experimental get damage range increases. We did hook up the snipers with K bullets, now tracking properly because math is hard for us here at DICE. Also in gadget changes, the AT rocket gun and similar weapons can now be fired from the passenger's side of your best friend's ride, but don't be a scrub like TLC said. The Tripwire Mine now deals twice as much damage to sprinting players, again nerfing rushers, and the AT Mine damage is increased by 50% because people still can't do the challenge to get the DLC weapons that they already paid for, but somehow haven't unlocked yet. Oh, and now you can customize your vehicle loadout even if there weren't any available on the spawn screen, so next time you don't have to rush to choose whether to pick it right away like an annoying ass booger, or tweak it to just have some other ass clown crumb snatch it away from you. We also fixed an issue where the infiltrator flare would brighten the entire level for the opposing team. That's crazy, yo. Speaking of elite classes, we removed them from War Pigeons, much like we did in Team Deathmatch and Domination, so that this way you don't have a flame trooper roasting your objective for dinner. There's also new UI options for people that care more about how the game looks than how it feels, and added a spectator delay option to the rental servers to counter stream sniping, because people that session join and get pleasure out of pissing other people off aren't actually funny or trolls, they're just assholes and major buzzkills, bro. Speaking of being shitty, that was the rewards from battle packs prior to today, as we both upped the chances of getting a Distinguisher Legendary skin and guaranteeing a puzzle piece after the completion of an operation campaign, since finding pieces were harder than doing one of those wicked room escapes. Now we just gotta work on weapon pronunciation.
Additional skins, some legendary skins for the Gavur 98, for the Mondragon.
Even though this patch is later than that girl that you had a one-night stand with and didn't pull out in time, which is far out, man, we've been still working hard on giving you guys new shit throughout the month, since our game is more starved of content than those kids in the Christian Children's Fund commercials. Speaking of operation campaigns, Fire and Ice was the name of the operations, longer than the book of the same name, which turned into a British medieval soap opera on HBO involving Verdun Heights that looks like a forest in California burning down with Devil's Anvil, and the brutal cold of Russia with the Brusilov offensive that contained 4 DLC maps, but they were made available to all players during the time of January 9th to the 22nd, and a new one called Beginning of the End is now live until February 11th, containing Beyond the Marne and Kaiserschlacht, the first of which contains DLC maps, but it's going to be available to all players, further devaluing the premium pass, which we've been pumping up throughout the video, yet is on sale for like 20 bucks to entice people to waste their money on a game that will be forgotten about in 6 months when the new Battlefield 2018 is revealed. We also took the Frontlines game mode, again, originally for premium pass owners, but then given to plebs, and we made it for the St. Quentin Scar map in vanilla, and we're testing it out on Giant Shadow on the CTE. Gnarly, dude. As for another nail in the coffin of people that threw down extra money for our game, the Pre-State Tehor map, which is part of They Shall Not Pass DLC, was given away like the Red Hot Chili Peppers to all for free on January 16th for those Battlefield players that enjoy playing in maps that are more dark than the guys that Kim Kardashian is into. Our next DLC, called Apocalypse, will apparently be out soon in February, but given that we had to spread this DLC into 2 months and almost pushed it back into the third, given that it's the second to last day in January, expect minimal effort for this one. Yeah, we're doing 5 maps, but 2 of them are for the Air Assault game mode only, so we don't really have to worry about the map flow on those, given that you'll be fighting above the ground the whole time. So that's why one map is basically ripped straight out of the campaign, and we're going to stretch one of those maps into 2 different parts so that you can get some blimp on blimp action that I know inflates my happy place. Be sure to play all of these new maps in white box form on the CTE and fill out them surveys so that you guys that paid extra for premium can beta test our game for us, and then we'll make changes based on the feedback, even though we still had to make changes to spawns on our newest map, Cape Hells and Achibaba, in this patch a month later, since we don't actually know what makes things good, as evidenced by our now infamous quote on Bad Company 2 that we don't know what made it so great. Far out.
What's some of the strategy tips here? How am I going to do this? How am I going to lead my squad to success?
You gotta take flags.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so
PTFO.
that is obvious. Yeah, this is Conquest Assault.
I love Chad 1000% more just right now.
But let's do the giveaway.
Let's do the giveaways.
Okay,
Chad
James,
first.
Chad,
All right.
how good are you drumming?
We don't have a drum set.
I don't care. Roll something.
Well played. That was awesome. I can't be more happy about that.